Hey YouTube, this is Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com, and today's video is about the worst parts of being a beauty blogger. Long time no see. If you're wondering where I've been dealing with real life basically. For the first time in 5 months, I went back to work in the physical office, which took a little bit of adjusting. It's interesting how fast we get used to things. So I was definitely very much used to working from home in my jammies most of the time, and then going back to the office was a bit of an adjustment. I think I'm used to it now. It's been 2 weeks, and there are definitely some good parts about being outside of the house. However, it was really nice to work in the basement as well. Obviously, being a beauty blogger, specifically a Korean Japanese beauty blogger, I love blogging, otherwise I wouldn't do it. So today's video isn't just about blogging being awful. It's definitely not. This is just cherry-picked annoying things, and some of it will probably sound like whining, but hey, maybe you're into that. The first thing is there's a certain category of people in the audience that assume that everything I get is free, and I even get comments like, "You are so lucky," and "Oh, I wish I could do that," or "I wish I could get something for free." Well, the truth is, before you ever get a single free jar, bottle, or tube, there's a lot of work that goes into building a blog, getting a platform. There's quite a bit of money involved for hosting, for purchasing things, and just in terms of time, I spend a lot of time researching things, buying them, taking pictures, testing, and so on and so forth, and writing about them. So I almost take it as an insult, although I try not to, when people say, "Oh, you're so lucky." No, I'm not lucky. You know that famous saying that if you work hard for several years, you become an overnight success? It's kind of like that. So this year, I think I've had my blog, the actual KBeautyHobbit.com website, for a couple of years, but I've been reviewing things on different platforms for about 4 years now. And finally, this year is the first time where I actually started getting certain PR things enough for it to actually matter in my financial world. It's not payments, but it's free products, so I don't have to maybe buy facial cleansers and so on because I'm getting them for free, although it's really not free because it takes time to review, it takes time to do pictures and so on, and really time is the most expensive commodity that all of us have because you can never buy more. Number 2 is all the stupid ambassador things that I get. The things that I mostly get that are super annoying are glasses, sunglasses, fashion, swimsuits, and stuff like that. And it's always positioned of, "Oh, come become our brand ambassador and we will give you a discount," as in, come buy our stuff at 80% instead of 100% retail value, and then spend your time for free advertising it on your platform. And of course, none of the stuff has anything to do with what my blog is actually about, but it's positioned in a way of, "Oh, this is such a great opportunity for you to become an ambassador." I'm definitely a small fry, but I would just imagine that nobody big and famous would ever advertise something for free, and not really even for free. They would pay their own money to acquire this item and then proceed to promote it on their channels. That would never happen. So why do they think I would do it? I'm not really sure. I at first used to reply somewhat snarky, and now I just delete all this crap, and I get a lot of these things in my email and in my inbox on Instagram. Next thing is somewhat flattering, but mostly just annoying, and that's when people treat me as their own skincare consultant. I get so many inbox messages, especially on Facebook, of, "Oh, this is my skin type, and I'm considering this, and this," or "I'm completely new, can you please come up with a routine for me," and so on and so forth. And I don't mind giving advice, but I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not a cosmetologist, but that's why I have my Facebook group, Korean Beauty Fanatics, because somebody can post a question there, and one of our many members, we're at almost 7,300 now, can chime in, or I can chime in, and kind of collectively we could help somebody. And also all of those posts are visible to other members and they're searchable within the group, so somebody could refer to a past post and so on. But when a person messages me and specifically asks me to spend a lot of time coming up with a routine for them, I've never seen them, I have no idea who this person is, and again, I'm not a dermatologist or a cosmetologist, but why do they expect me to do that for them? And for free. Of course, I wouldn't charge it because, again, I'm not a professional, but still to expect somebody to devote this much time for free, I think that's kind of unreasonable. And in my group rules, I do mention that, hey, I don't have the time to devote to answering individual inbox messages, so please post everything to the group. But do people listen? Nope. And a side note, just think about it for a moment. If you are considering messaging somebody and asking them to come up with a skincare routine for you, what if they do? Would you really trust somebody, a stranger on the internet with zero credentials, to come up with a routine for you? I wouldn't. The next thing is probably the hardest one for me personally, and that is I can't simply just open and use the product. So when a package comes in, and most of the time it's on a weekday, and I open it up, I can't just dig in. I can't just twist off all the lids, rip off all the tags, and just start slathering on. I have to wait until the next day, or sometimes for a few days until the weekend, to be able to take nice photos, to have good lighting. And I always take photographs before I start using the product, because that's when the jars are nice and clean, everything is brand new and looking good. And also it's a way for me to remember to take a picture, because if I just introduce something to my routine and then I'm ready to review it, maybe I never took the picture and I won't remember. But it's really hard from the self-control perspective, especially with the unboxing videos. And I have a couple on this channel, and I also have some on my IGTV at KBeautyHobbit on Instagram. But those are the hardest, because something comes in and these boxes that my unboxing videos are for, they're mystery to me. So I don't know what the contents are. And of course I really want to know, but I always have to wait to actually be able to do the video. That is definitely the hardest part for me. And with all of the pictures that I take and everything else, I maintain a list of things that I have and things to review and the ones that I have reviewed. And occasionally by the time that I get around to writing a review about something, it's already off production. And so then there's sort of no point in reviewing it because people can't buy it anyway. So that's another little annoying / sad part. The next challenging part about being probably any kind of blogger, not just a skincare or beauty blogger, is being consistent. The key to a good, successful blog, and I consider a blog successful if it's being read by people. I'm not talking about financial metrics here. I think the purpose of my blog anyway is to be useful to people. So for something to be successful and to continuously show up in the search engines, you have to provide and produce consistent content on a consistent, regular basis. And sometimes I have periods where I have lots of inspiration and lots of drive, and I want to review things every day, and I do in those cases. But then sometimes I have weeks and even months where I just don't feel like it. I still love skincare. I still love my skincare routine and applying things and using them, but sometimes I just don't want to write about it, and I don't want to take pictures, and I don't want to do anything. But really to consistently have something of value to the people, to the readers, I do need to just get my butt in gear and do it anyway, even if there's no inspiration. And speaking of being useful and successful, it's difficult to measure success. So I do see the platform where my blog is, I do see their analytics, and I do see how many clicks my site gets on Google. So that's one way that I could potentially measure success. But another way are all these vanity metrics, like followers and subscribers and such, and minutes watched and all of these things. And I really wish they didn't matter, but they kind of do. And I'm annoyed with myself that they matter to me so much. I try to look past it. I try to focus on the fact that I do have a small but loyal following. But sometimes I just really think like, why can't I get to this number or that number on Instagram? And I'm annoyed with myself for thinking that way. But I think that it's almost ingrained in my brain now, because when I look on, when I just watch different content and look at different things on social media, a lot of the times the following and the amount of followers or subscribers is brought up, and so I think it just gets in my head. So I try to move past it. But speaking of, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you would like to give me that little confidence boost, go ahead and hit the subscribe and maybe a like button, or better yet, leave me a comment, because I really love those. And the last but not least, the one thing that just makes me want to say bad words is when people try to use my platforms to advertise their own stuff. And okay, I appreciate the hustle as much as the next guy, but seriously, there's a time and place do not come into my group that I spent so many months building and that I spend so much time moderating, and I read every comment and I read every post and I approve every member myself. I don't use any automated things. I don't have any moderators. It's just me. So don't come and try to shill your whatever you have, your store, your website, your blog, your channel, I don't care. Don't do it. I understand that it could be very tempting to just go shout from the rooftops when you have something that you're excited about, but there's definitely a time and a place, and there are things like partnerships, and there are things like co-ops, and also there are people who just join a group and start screaming about whatever it is that they have, and those get banned, and it gives me great pleasure. My favorite example of that ever was when I made my anti-MLM video about my experience with Jamboree, which I highly recommend you watch, especially if you like complaining kind of rowdy videos, and watch my Mary Kay one as well. But anyway, when I made that video and I posted about it on my Instagram, there was a person who thought it was appropriate to try and sell Jamboree in the comments. That is all I have as far as things that currently are getting on my nerves about beauty blogging. But all of those are very, very small compared to the pure satisfaction I get from writing, from publishing, from taking pictures, from editing, but most importantly from when people get something that they've read about on my blog and end up loving it and they tell me about it. And that's really the best thing. It is just this amazing amount of validation. PR packages, that is great. Paid sponsorships are also good. But nothing compares to that one person that you've seen in your group time and time again, getting something and then loving it and saying, hey, I bought it on your recommendation and it's great. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was at least entertaining or maybe even educational, probably not. If you liked it, please consider subscribing and leave me a like and a comment. You can find me on my blog, KBeautyHobbit.com, on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, on Twitter at KBeautyHobbit, basically anywhere, Pinterest, KBeautyHobbit, and of course my Facebook group, Korean Beauty Fanatics. I would love to see you there. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you so much. Bye.